Hopefully everybody else figured out how to get around the traffic issue. So I'm going to give some prepared remarks, and then I'll take questions. Good afternoon. In early March of 2018, I filed the case on behalf of Stormy Daniels against Donald Trump and Michael Cohen relating to the criminal conduct that had occurred in connection with the 2016 election. We filed that case at enormous risk, both personally and professionally. We received countless death threats, placing us and our families in danger. We had to change our lives, restrict our travel, and hire security. This case took an immeasurable toll on my client and me. That toll continues to this day. Our lives will never be the same. We were told at the time, and we were vilified, we were told that we were liars, that we had fabricated the facts. Trump, his son Don Jr., Sarah Sanders, the White House, and others attacked us constantly. They sought to destroy us. Now, why did I personally get involved in this case? Why did I take the risk that I did? Because at the time, I believed in the truth and justice. I believed that engaging in criminal conduct to steal an election was wrong. I believed that no one was above the law, not even the President of the United States. That belief has been shaken to its core as I stand here today. I question whether there will ever be true justice in this case. I repeatedly stated last year that this conduct would go to the top, that it would be shown that Donald Trump had orchestrated this criminal conduct to steal the 2016 election. Cohen, Trump, their surrogates, minions, and others denied this. Immediately, the White House and Cohen claimed that the $130,000 payment was done all at the direction of Michael Cohen, that Donald Trump and others had nothing to do with it. All of these denials, all of them were lies. What do we now know? We know that beginning no later than October 8, 2016, there were frantic communications between Michael Cohen, Donald Trump, Hope Hicks, Mr. Pecker, and others relating to making sure that the truth relating to the relationship with Stormy Daniels was never disclosed, and most certainly was not disclosed prior to the November 2016 election. On October 8th, Donald Trump and Michael Cohen had a three-way call with Hope Hicks relating to the seriousness of these allegations and the impact that they could have on the 2016 election. Ms. Hicks and Mr. Cohen spoke again only minutes following that three-way call. David Pecker and Dylan Howard were also heavily involved and brought into the loop almost immediately in an effort to avoid the truth being disclosed to the American people, so that the election could be rigged for the benefit of Donald Trump. Mr. Cohen formed a company by the name of Resolution Consultants, LLC, a week after those communications. He later dissolved that corporation and he formed Essential Consultants, LLC, which he subsequently used to make the $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels. On October 26, 2016, approximately 10 to 14 days before the presidential election, Donald Trump and Michael Cohen communicated again, twice, relating to the payment to be made to Stormy Daniels. There were also multiple other communications around this time, including some involving Kellyanne Conway, the campaign manager for Donald Trump's 2016 re-election or election effort. There were frantic calls, frantic text, frantic emails, all designed to hide the truth. To those of you who say that it would not have mattered had this been disclosed, that everyone already knew that Donald Trump was a misogynist, everybody already knew the problems that he had had with women, let me ask you this. If it would not have mattered, then why did Trump and those around him conclude that it could have a devastating impact? Why did Hope Hicks conclude that? Why did Michael Cohen conclude that? Why did Donald Trump himself conclude that? Why did Dylan Howard believe that? Why did Kellyanne Conway believe that? They knew that this would have a dramatic impact on the 2016 election, and that's why they went to the efforts that they did to hide this from the American people. Those efforts were pervasive, they were extensive, and they spanned a significant amount of time. Let me speak briefly relating to Michael Cohen. Michael Cohen has attempted to paint himself a hero. Be clear, Michael Cohen is a criminal. He was at the center of this effort. He is no hero. Why hasn't Michael Cohen released the text messages, the emails, and the other communications that are detailed in the documents that were released today, the actual source documentation? There has been nothing preventing him from releasing these documents to the American people so they can see the source documents for themselves. He and his counsel should release all of these communications, especially communications with members from the Trump Organization, the Trump campaign, and Donald Trump immediately. To the extent that there are other recordings, those likewise should be released for the American public to digest this information on their own and reach their own conclusions. It should happen now. Hope Hicks lied to the FBI when she previously stated that she did not learn about the Stormy Daniels allegations until after the election in November. That has now been shown to be an absolute lie. Hope Hicks obstructed justice. She obstructed an inquiry into criminal conduct relating to the election of a president of the United States. She then proceeded to lie to Congress. Hope Hicks should be indicted today. She should be held responsible for her criminal conduct relating to this matter. Why has Hope Hicks not been charged? Why has David Pecker not been charged? Why has Dylan Howard not been charged? Why has Donald Trump not been charged for orchestrating the stealing of a presidential election? Why has his son, Donald Trump Jr., who signed payments to Michael Cohen to reimburse him for the $130,000 and who clearly knew what these payments were for, why has Don Jr. not been criminally indicted? Why has Kellyanne Conway, who clearly knew about this scheme, not been indicted? There are individuals that argue that Justice Department guidelines prevent the indictment of a sitting president. I disagree with those guidelines, as I detailed last year in the New York Times. Setting those guidelines aside, those guidelines do not prevent the indictment and criminal prosecution of the president's son, Kellyanne Conway, Hope Hicks, Mr. Pecker, and Mr. Howard. They should be held criminally responsible. We are talking about the stealing of a presidential election. We are talking about criminal conduct at the highest levels. As I stand here, I have significant doubts that any of these individuals will ever be held to account. that any of these individuals will ever be criminally charged as they should. In my view, every candidate who seeks the nomination for the Democratic Party in connection with the 2020 election should be asked, if they are elected President of the United States, will they insist on criminally indicting each of these individuals, including Donald Trump? This should be a litmus test for the next individual, or for the individual who wants to ascend to the office of the presidency. We cannot allow this conduct to go unchecked. Donald Trump and his cohorts who engaged in this outright criminal conspiracy must be held responsible. They must be charged criminally. What transpired here was wrong. It was criminal conduct carried out at the highest levels, all in an effort to steal a presidential election, the highest office in the land, and it succeeded. I'll take questions.
Why do you think they're not being charged? Why do you think they haven't been?
I don't think they're being charged because I believe that William Barr has made a decision not to charge them, and I think they're not being charged for political reasons, clearly. There's no reason why, putting aside the guidelines, there's no reason why Hope Hicks, Donald Trump Jr., and others who participated overtly in this criminal conspiracy and this criminal conduct should be charged. I think that Michael Cohen rightfully is now serving his sentence. I think that sentence was light in my view. I'm not suggesting that somehow he should get off or not be charged because others were not charged, but there are many individuals that should be joining him where he is right now in connection with this.
Will there be more charges filed in the campaign finance violation case, do you think, by the U.S. Attorney's Office?
All indications are that they're not going to proceed with additional charges against additional individuals, which, quite frankly, is shocking to me, and it's absolutely wrong. Every one of these individuals should be held to account. We cannot turn a blind eye to this conduct and allow it to be swept under the rug. We're talking about criminal conduct aimed at securing the highest office in the land.
When Donald Trump said that he would, potentially go after Hillary Clinton when he won the election, even on the campaign trail, a lot of people criticized that as him going after his political rival. Would, if a Democratic candidate, hopeful for the presidency, says that they're going to potentially go after Kellyanne Conway or any other individuals that you mentioned, wouldn't they be doing the same thing? Wouldn't they be going after political rivals, which some say you should do?
Well, I believe that you can go after anyone who engages in criminal conduct, regardless of whether they happen to be in politics or not.
Would that be a bad precedent to set?
I don't think it would be in connection, or especially in light of the facts of this case. In order for you to conclude that each of these individuals is innocent, you have to conclude that all of these text messages, phone calls, emails, and communications never occurred, putting aside whatever Michael Cohen has testified to. You have to assume that all of this somehow does not exist. There's a mountain of evidence that not only suggests but proves that all of this occurred. Anything else?
No.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.